Hi, my name is Jack and this is Group 8's interim presentation. Today our group will offer an update on our progress to date, we will provide justification for all engineering decisions made to date, and we will outline our team's schedule of remaining deliverables. Here is an approximate outline of the site. My colleagues will discuss the main engineering design elements for the proposed 14-storey hotel on the site. As the site is located on the Dublin Road 3 km east of Limerick City and 1.5 km from the University of Limerick, careful consideration must be given to the transport planning and design, which will be discussed by Shane. Clarissa will consider the soil mechanics and the geology of the site. Mao will explain the relevant structural theory elements, and finally Anthony will talk through the various reinforced concrete and design components. Here's our group's design scheme. I'm happy to say that we are on track to complete this project on time. To date, we have already completed several critical tasks to enable safe and correct completion of the project. These tasks include a designer's risk assessment, as safety is at the forefront of our minds, as well as AutoCAD and surveying tutorials. Now I will pass you over to Shane, who will explain the traffic planning and design aspects of the project.
Thanks, Jack. I will be discussing the transport and planning part of our project. So our 3-exit roundabout proposal goes through the Dublin Road. So this is the westbound, this is the eastbound, and this is going southbound into the new development of 5,000 square metre comparison and the 2,500 square metre convenience retail. So if I take this off, you can see a blown out version of it. And you can see the TK junction where we did our traffic count survey and where our proposal shall be put. So for our traffic count survey, we had to add in some additional variables. One was the 20% increase due to COVID-19, and the next one was the central growth expected for the next 15 years after development has finished. So with all these numbers, we got the PCUs for 2037. And then we generated the chip generation rate and got 348 PCUs. I will now hand you off to Clarissa for soils.
Thank you, Shane. On the geotechnical side of things, we have the soil and the foundation. Soil by its nature is a very volatile material. Soil samples taken from as little as 2 meters apart can produce a very different set of test results. Our structure will be supported by the ground, therefore it is necessary we have a stable foundation. The foundation type will depend on the bearing capacity of the soil. The bearing capacities is the soil's ability to resist the downward force from the hotel. We have taken soil samples from the site at various steps and have carried out a series of tests on them in the lab. We are interpreting the results currently. This will aid in our understanding of how the soil will act when the force of the hotel will act on it. Here are some types of foundations. Using the test results, we will be able to determine a suitable foundation type. Some factors to be considered are cost, soil type, and the load on the ground. The soil in the area is usually weak with a high water table, therefore careful consideration will be taken on our part to ensure this will not be a problem.
It needs to be stress analyzed and determine some important slabs, columns, beams, and trusses are statically determinate or statically indeterminate. We can draw a rough deformation diagram of the structure. Afterwards, to change a statically indeterminate structure into a statically determinate structure. Then, it can help us to draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. In this way, the forces on the structure can be calculated. This will allow us to determine in advance whether the structure will have safety issues. This ensures the internal stability of the building, but it still has external factors, such as wind load. Wind load is related to fundamental wind pressure, terrain, ground roughness, ground normal level, architectural form, and other factors. Wind load is a pressure generated by airflow on the engineering structure. We can still calculate the maximum wind load that the building can be subject to. So, we can choose whether or not we need better material according to the local weather conditions.
Hi, my name is Anthony, and today I'm going to talk about the Horizon Mall Hotel Complex. We were tasked with the design of the structural elements of the hotel building in the Horizon Mall. Our first step was to analyze the first floor to determine the dimensions and layouts for slab, beam, and column sections. The next step was to come up with 3 layouts for slab types. The first layout we chose was this 10-meter span. The second layout was a 6.6 meter span, and our third and final layout we changed the direction of the span as shown. Now I'm going to talk about the various slab types that we chose. The first type we chose was hollow core slab. This is a precast part that can come in several depths and widths. The advantages to hollow core slabs are that they excel in sound insulation and fire resistance. They also allow for fast construction times. They are comparably lightweight, and they are easy to install and does not require any extra formwork. The disadvantages of hollow core slabs are what can turn people off. Due to the poor quality connection between precast members, they can also be damaged easily during transport or construction, and lastly, they are not economic for shorter spans. The second type we chose was flat slab. This is very popular in construction due to its ease of formwork and quicker build times. However, the downside to flat slabs is that it cannot cover larger spans. Also, in flat slabs, the middle strip deflection can be critical. This means it's not suitable for brittle finishes. Lastly, flat slabs are considerably thicker than comparable slab types. Our final and chosen slab design that we decided to use for our building is a solid one-way spanning slab. They are economic for a wide range of spans. It is suitable for all 3 of our layouts, and it is easier to design for. Our next step, once we have our slab design completed, we will move on to designing the beam and columns that can withstand the forces applied on a structure. And now I will hand you over to Clarissa.
Thank you, Anthony. So now we've told you what we've done, it's time to look to the future. In the coming weeks, we will design the beams and columns for our hotel. To aid this, we will deepen our understanding of wind loadings, we'll decide on a suitable foundation type, and complete our roundabout design, all while keeping health and safety at the forefront of our minds. Thank you for your attention today. Please do not hesitate to ask us any questions.